Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dr. Burchett Show. BC Fit in the house. Brittney, Carbone. Today we're going to talk about how you got in shape for a bodybuilding competition.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of things in here that people at home who are just doing regular weight loss or maintenance or trying to get in better shape and get cut can learn from this. Okay, so here's my first question.
Okay.
What possessed you to do a bodybuilding competition? Because that's kind of crazy.
Wow.
I kind of want to do one, and I feel crazy saying that.
Yeah, I felt really crazy saying that. It was kind of something I always thought about doing, and I turned 30. This is actually what happened. So I was in Vegas. And my friend...
Good we're getting the true story.
Yeah, this is the true story. I was in Vegas, and it was my 30th birthday, and we were celebrating.
Are you 30?
Yeah.
Wow.
What are you trying to say?
You don't look 30, I'll put it that way. You look younger than 30.
Thanks, Larry.
Shut
So so turned 30, I was in Vegas, and my friends, there was a bikini contest. And my friends were like, just do it. And I was mortified. And mind you, I don't drink, so everyone's lubricated with liquid. And I'm like, and this isn't like a bikini contest like pose. This is like shake your booty bikini contest.
It's a Vegas
bikini contest. And mind you, I'm not drunk. I'm still really fun, not drunk, but that was super embarrassing. So we did this.
You did it.
I did it, and I was mortified. Like,
what do you mean mortified?
I was so embarrassed. I couldn't, like, you'd like walk out on the stage.
You were embarrassed to what?
To be up there. It wasn't even about my body at that time. It was more about, like, I just felt like, why am I doing this? It was kind of like, I don't know, it just felt weird. And then we left there, and I was like, I'm going to do a real bikini contest. Because I felt like, I was like, this is now a huge fear of mine. And I'd always kind of thought about it, but I didn't realize there was, like, a smaller category than the physique girls. And so I was like, I don't want to, for me personally, it wasn't a goal to be much bigger, but I wanted to be smaller and toned. And so, yeah, I was like, I was up at 4 a.m. one morning, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to look for it. I found the show I was going to do, and then got a coach, and then just started talking about it on social media to make myself do it, because I was really scared.
So you need, like, the public accountability.
Oh, yeah. I needed that public accountability, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what happened.
That's a good story. So that's how you did it. And then how long did you train? Like, how far in advance did you pick the show?
I think ended up being like 15 weeks or so.
So like 4 months-ish. A
Yeah.
little less. 3.5 months.
3.5 months.
What did you do? How do you how do you get in shape for that? I don't even know.
Well, it just depends on, honestly, the level that you're at, because I had a pretty good base as far as muscle goes. So a lot of people need to build muscle, because once you start cutting, it's harder to gain muscle.
So what's the process? Like, if somebody didn't know anything about it?
It honestly really depends on your body. That's why having a coach is so important.
Okay.
Because I can look at someone and go, oh, okay, so you wanna look like this, whatever this is, whatever, if it's figure, bikini, physique. Okay, we need
So there's 3 different kinds. You said there's figure, bikini, and physique. Now, what are the differences for women for that?
Okay, so bikini is small. So this is an NPC.
NPC.
Which
So much terminology.
I know. This is a specific federation. So the NPC Federation.
You're like in the world now.
I know, it's crazy. I never thought I would be in the world. Because I remember I was like a foreign language when I was first. Stop.
No, it's cool. We're still friends. I just need a little more space.
We're just friends over there. So
it's some bodybuilding competition
federation. So there's a bunch of different ones. NPC is kind of the most well-known NPC, and then there's WWF, which we'll get into it for a whole nother thing.
WWF.
Yeah. So then, so bikini is kind of the smaller girls, more posy. It's very like...
Bikini's like the skinny girls. Who don't have as much muscle.
They don't have as much muscle on the amateur level. When you get to the pro level, they have muscle.
Okay.
But on the amateur level, it's all about your glutes, it's all about your hamstrings, and capped shoulders.
Okay.
But if you have too much muscle, like quad muscle, you get docked points.
Interesting. So there's a certain kind of look. So bikini
look.
is like skinny girls, and then you said there's physique, and what other?
There's figure, which is the next level
It's
up.
like in between.
In between, and then physique.
Physique is like the most muscular woman.
The most muscular woman.
Okay.
Which is really hard to get to. Figure is even hard to get to because as women we don't have everything we need to gain that much muscle.
Because it's harder to put on muscle as a woman.
Yeah.
So you did which one?
I did bikini.
Okay, like amateur bikini.
Amateur bikini. And what came out of that for me, so to rewind really quick, so it took, 14 weeks or whatever, 15 weeks. Maybe it wasn't even that long. I think actually I did for 12, somewhere between 12 and 15 weeks. But it was lifting 6 days a week, cardio 5 days a week, and then one off day.
An off day. How long, when you lifted, how long? An hour?
An hour to an hour and a half.
And then how much cardio?
In the beginning, it was like 20 minutes, and it got up to an hour at the end.
So you were, at the end, you were going for a couple hours a day?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
2.5.
For sure.
Okay.
And then with recovery, because I was super into foam rolling and using the balls to help release. Because when you're working out so much, there's so much.
The balls.
You gotta use the balls.
To release.
The balls are very important.
Also,
I was gonna make that reference, but I didn't think it was appropriate.
Yeah, on this show it is. Also a key part on the man's program as well. So I'm glad you brought that up. Release with the balls.
This is real life.
Okay, so then what did you do with your diet?
Okay, so my diet in the beginning was all macro based, which it was. So I think in the beginning
So macro based is where you focus on the amount of carbs, fats, and protein, not either the amount and or the ratios of those.
Correct. So in the beginning, my carbs, I think we're at like 200, 220, and then my protein was at like 150 or 160, and my fat, I think it was like, honestly, I don't remember the exact ratios because it's changed so much. Then my fat was like 30. But I would carb cycle, and what carb cycling is when you have you have a couple high carb days, a couple medium carb days, and then 3 low carb days.
Okay.
Everyone's carb cycle is different, but that was mine.
And what's the point of carb cycling?
So the point is that when you are
to help you cut,
but also when you're carb
so
depleted, you can't lift super heavy. It's hard to lift heavy
because you don't have energy.
You don't have energy. I mean, you do, but you don't. So I would lift really heavy on the days I had high carbs. So I would do my biggest muscle groups. I would do leg day, and I would do back on those days. And then on my medium carbs and my low carb days, I would be a little bit more mellow, and I would do higher reps, lower weight. On the high carb days, it was heavy, like 6 reps.
When you say, I was going to say, so heavy, lower rep for you is like 6 range. Yeah. Higher rep would be what?
15.
15.
Yeah, sometimes 18.
Okay. How did you like these adjustments? Were you like, this is cool, this is really hard? How did you like it?
In the beginning, I just trusted my coach, honestly. So it was kind of just like, cool, this is science, I'm just going to use my body as a science experiment. I didn't really have a feeling about it, except on the low carb days, I really noticed. It was like...
hard.
This is a low carb day.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to do any critical thinking
today. How low
today.
did your carbs go? You're talking 50 or 100? No,
yeah, like 100 or 80, I think I got to, was the lowest.
Yeah. That's super low. Like 100 carbs. 50 is extremely low, but 100 is really low.
Don't quote me on this as like an actual fact, but I'm pretty sure it's like your brain doesn't function under 80 carbs a day. Unless your fat is super, super high, which is a ketogenic diet, but I won't even get into that.
It's really low. And I would be really, really cranky on that diet. Like, oh man, that would be hard.
Yeah, there are days like towards the end where I thought I might be losing my mind.
Yeah. Okay, so when you were cutting using low carb, give me an example of what that day looked like in terms of what you ate.
Well, I am a big fan of a lot of food. So I would choose my carbs wisely. So I would get for me, it was really important to get most of my carbs from vegetables because I could load up my plate with like every vegetable in my pantry or my refrigerator
and not
hit my...
spend too many carbs
exactly.
on it, so to speak.
I looked at it basically like a bank account.
So give me breakfast, lunch, dinner on an average day.
Okay, so some mornings I would do like a fourth a cup of oatmeal. And then I would do I know. It was like a really sad amount. Yeah. Or I'd do an omelet with.
I want to make fun of you, but I'm swallowing.
I know.
That's like 2 bites of oatmeal.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that was delicious.
But it feels like really good. You're like, oh my god, carbs.
Like this is how it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's intense. No, I don't mean to. I don't mean in like a critical, crazy way. But it's,
but it is. No,
it's extreme.
It is extreme. I'm not saying this is like an everyday.
I mean, really, how many bites is that of oatmeal?
Maybe 3.
3 bites of oatmeal. A fourth of a cup is nothing. Okay, keep going.
Okay, so then I would have like either.
And that was your treat for the day.
Yeah, and then like I'd have eggs or protein shake. Like usually because I was usually running out the door. Honestly, it was like make some oatmeal, and then take a protein shake. So have my 3 bites of oatmeal, bounce, have my protein shake on the way.
Yeah, because you have a life.
Yeah.
You're not a full-time professional bodybuilding person. You know?
Right, which is something else we should discuss because the timing and. You are dedicated. It's like I'll get into that.
I think that's the biggest practical thing for a lot of people who have a job and kids. Just about like
regular exercise.
Yeah, regular exercise and stuff is where do you fit it in? How do you do it? You know, when you get up, you get the kids going, like chaos and
yeah,
for sure.
And I'm single and don't have kids, so it's like, and it was tough for me. It became my life. And I was certain, I was like, I'm going to be the person that just has balance because I'm very holistic and spiritually grounded. and so I thought, and then the reality hit and I was like, I'm either going to get on that stage knowing I put everything into this or I'm going to go on that stage thinking that I was balanced, which I was a little bit of both. But, it was
you know, the question is, what's your best?
Right.
And you have to figure that out.
Totally.
As to, okay, this is my number 1 priority and I'm going to do that. Or it's not my number 1 priority.
Yeah.
And on the stage, if I don't win, I'm going to say, you know, that's okay because these other things weren't that important to me.
Totally.
You know? It's ultimately a question of values.
100%. Yeah, because it's, because it is, just what's important to you. And there were things I had to let go of, you know? I just had to say...
Like what?
There were events I couldn't go to. There were things, and I was totally the girl that had my 6-pack bag, which is like a big ice chest cooler thing, filled with my food, and I'm like showing up to people's houses for dinner, and I'm like, I got my meal prep, you know, because I still wanted to be social,
but you had to say no to a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Can't eat that. Probably can't stay out this late.
Yeah.
Sleep.
You need rest, like more rest than you even realize.
Okay, so get back to so you said. Let's just, I keep interrupting you, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
So breakfast, when you're on the low carbs, when you're cutting.
Yeah.
Breakfast was a little bit of oatmeal.
Yeah.
Maybe some eggs or a smoothie or something. What kind of a protein shake would you use in the morning?
I used whey, so John's Killer Protein.
So whey with water.
Almond milk. Yeah.
Anything else in there?
Some days on like low carb days, if I didn't want to waste the carbs on almond milk, even though it's a couple, I would just go for water. But it was kind of worth it to add the almond milk. So, you know.
Okay, and then do you have a snack? Do you do lunch? What's next?
So snack was usually, so my next meal, so I did 4 meals.
Okay.
Meals. When I tell you what they are, you're going to be like, okay. So I would do...
4 rabbit feedings.
Yeah. So I would do a can of tuna with mustard, green onions mixed up, and 2 hard-boiled eggs. So that would be a meal. But I would only eat the egg whites. Because I didn't want to waste the fat, because I wanted guacamole later. So I would
trade-offs. Like your brain, you really did this. Like you negotiate
really with yourself.
Well.
You're like this.
No, I don't want this because I want that later.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
okay, so that's like meal 2.
Meal 2.
Okay.
And then sometimes
that sounds awful. No offense.
It's actually not. It's weird.
Tuna, green onions. You can say that on my show. Tuna, green onions, mustard, and egg whites.
Yeah, and then I would sometimes they have these like really
so that's just protein.
Yeah, so you'd have these really skinny rice things, and sometimes I would put one of those with that. So I'd do like a scooper and it'd be like crazy.
Sometimes I had 3 grains of rice that I could swallow with meal 2. Okay, meal 3.
Meal 3, usually just a serious amount of vegetables. So I would be like broccoli, spinach, kale.
Why wouldn't you sprinkle that out throughout? Why would you have a whole bunch of broccoli or a whole bunch of vegetables in 3?
Because usually around that time, like that tuna meal was like
a snack.
Yeah, it was like whatever. I'm not really hungry because I already ate earlier, so that wasn't so bad. By like 2:00, I'm starting to get hungry.
Hangry.
Like, yeah, it's hitting.
So that's when you wanted to spend your carbs.
Yeah, so my carbs would happen there. And then, so I would do, just like as many vegetables as I could. And then, so protein, so chicken, tilapia, ground turkey.
Chicken or fish.
Yeah, chicken, fish, turkey.
Okay.
Then I'd roll to the nighttime meal, same thing. Like,
God, there are no carbs. And that was 100 carbs.
yeah. And sometimes, sometimes I do like a fourth a cup of brown rice or something. In the beginning, it was a lot more lenient than towards the end. Towards the end, the last week, all I ate for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack was tilapia and asparagus.
Why asparagus?
Asparagus are a diuretic.
Oh.
So I was water loading for 3 days, where you drink like 2.5 gallons of water.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
So easier in the beginning, and then take me through the last month of cutting. What did that look like?
We were pretty on track, so we didn't need to like do anything crazy.
How much did you lose weight-wise over that 3.5 month period?
About 25 pounds.
Holy cow.
Or 20 pounds, maybe.
You didn't,
I know.
What was your body fat at the end? What do you think you got it
12.
down to? Wow.
It was like, it was crazy.
That's incredible.
It was like 12 or
12
13.
by what? By a DEXA or by
No, by
pinch?
another
Caliper?
machine. So on DEXA I would have been higher, because DEXA's,
Yeah. Like water? What machine?
Oh, it's called InBody.
What is it?
You stand on it, electrical currents. So it's not the most accurate.
But you were cut. Like
But
that's
I started on that machine at 22%, and I lost like 10% body fat. So whatever machine it was, I lost 10% body fat.
Did you lose muscle?
I lost like 2 pounds of muscle.
From the beginning to the end?
Yeah, but yes and no. I think I actually didn't end up losing net any muscle, but I also didn't do DEXA. So DEXA would have been more accurate. But on this machine particularly, I didn't end up losing any because I had gained some muscle as I was cutting, which is hard to do, but I had upped my protein, so it was good.
And you're still...
And
then at the end, you still lifted 6 days a week and did 5 days of cardio, almost an hour of cardio.
Yeah, at the end.
Were you doing HIIT cardio or just steady state?
Mix.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I couldn't do an hour of HIIT. That's insane.
No, I wouldn't. Like towards the end, honestly,
There would
like
be a lot of intensity.
I couldn't even do that. I couldn't. It was like
that hard, and you were that out of it.
You're out of it. There was one time where I was like, I'm gonna either get off this machine or pass out.
It's extreme. It's extreme.
Yeah. It is extreme, and my diet, in all honesty, was not as bad as most of the girls I was talking to.
So one of the things that I want to say is when you see people on the cover of fitness magazines, and you see these incredible physiques that are super cut and look good, right? Like this is what we're taught good is. It is so... It's an accomplishment. It's a real thing. Like, I'm proud of you. I think you did a great job. I know that was important to you. I'm happy for you. I'm envious. I've never done that. I kind of want to. I'm a little crazy. But, that's not normal. It's so hard to get to. There is no 30 days to getting that.
No. It's a different world.
It's a totally different world, and it's so I think for the average person to have that in their mind as their goal, it's not a good idea. It's super extreme. And then so what happened afterwards? So you did the show, and how did it go?
I didn't do very well, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
In what way?
Like as far as placement goes. So my feedback I got was that I needed to basically cut my legs in half.
Your legs were too muscular?
Too big, too muscular. There was a very obvious, like if you looked at the pictures from the show, there was a very obvious disconnect between me and the other girls.
I kind of like your legs.
No, I love my legs. It's like my favorite thing about my body. So
talk about that.
Yeah, it was super weird. It was like I walked in the room and I was like, oh wow. Like these girls are a lot.
They're skinny.
They're small. And let me say this, like this is no like, there's no judgment on them on that at all. But I was very obviously bigger than these girls. And I had been told by a few people.
Muscularly, or you mean body fat?
Muscular wise, build wise, I'm not built for bikini. They're really small. They're just
petite.
They're petite, yeah. So when I was on the stage, I can make myself look smaller by broadening my shoulders and taking my waist in even more.
Yeah.
But for me at that time, it just wasn't realistic. And then taking my legs down. So it was pretty obvious. I mean, there are girls my size that do well, but I just didn't, I also was so nervous on that stage.
Oh, I bet.
It was like every fear just came out.
Wow.
And so I was trying to calm down, but I did the best I could, at that time.
What fears came out?
It was just like, for someone who had so many body issues back in the day, I'm entering something where you are solely judged on your body. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. I'm so glad I did it, but I was so over it by the day of the show. I was like, just get me out of here.
But you stuck to it.
Yeah, I did it.
So you're on the stage and like freaking out.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, let's just get this over with. I was so dehydrated. That's the other part that I did not like. You dehydrate so much. I just have to tell you this. Like, you do 3 days of 2.5 gallons, then you go down to...
And this starts like a week beforehand?
A week before.
Okay.
And then, so you
do
water...
3 days of what?
Load. 2 to 2.5 gallons of water.
So you drink a ton of water for 3 days?
Yeah.
Okay, and
then you cut to a gallon.
Okay.
Then you cut to a half a gallon.
Okay.
Then you cut to a fourth of a gallon the day before the show.
Oh my God.
And then you stop drinking at noon.
The day before?
The day before.
You don't drink
you don't drink water till the next day.
You don't get any?
Nothing. So you feel like you're dying. So I was just like, and then the only thing you can eat is rice.
I'm like, why are we eating rice?
So you've depleted your body, so when you cut all the carbs, you get flat. Your muscles are just flat. Have you ever noticed if you don't do carbs?
Flat?
Yeah, you get flat.
What does flat mean?
Like,
why do I want to be flat?
You don't want to be flat. But you eat the carbs, they soak right into your muscle because they haven't had anything.
Oh, your muscle swells.
Your muscle pumps.
Pops. Physiology of that is fascinating. And I don't know that's healthy.
No, it's not healthy. There's not that much about this that's healthy.
The doctor would like to chime in and say, that is not healthy what you have done, Brittney.
I knew that. I was intending on being this person that was like going to do it the healthy way, but...
There is no healthy way in that. But okay, let's get back to, you said something really interesting about, you got up on stage and you could clearly tell that you were bigger.
Yeah.
That was your words. And especially some of the feedback you got was your legs.
Yeah.
Needed to be cut in half.
Yeah.
And you liked your legs as
yeah.
your favorite part of your body.
And let me tell you really quick, not to interrupt you, but my legs were the smallest they'd ever been. Ever. In my life.
So there's external kind of messaging, this is not okay. And then there's you that's like, hey, I love this. So how do you make sense of that? Are you going to compete again and be like, I'm going to make these smaller?
No.
Or are you like, you know what, fuck that. I still like this. I'm going to stick with me.
So what I found out is there's another federation that celebrates legs. Boom. So it's called WBFF. It's a World Beauty...
Wait. WBFF?
Yeah.
Like Women's Best Friend Forever.
No, it's
BFF.
World's... I think... Don't quote me on this. It's World's Beauty and Fitness Federation.
So they like more muscular legs.
So there's different categories. So the reason... So an NPC...
Which is nice, because who wants to try to fit into that box?
Right. And that was the whole thing, is that
like
it just doesn't fit right. And it didn't sit well with me. Because I've never been someone who's like, change yourself. That just seems weird to me.
That's exactly what it sounded like. What I was hearing, and I was like, well, what do you do with that? Because I think it sounds like you still want to compete again. You kind of want to try again, but it's like you don't want to change yourself for that.
No. No.
So you found something that you can't compete in.
Yeah, and so they have different categories. For NPC, I didn't want to have to build as much muscle to get to physique, or no, to... Yeah, I think it's physique. I'm just forgetting.
You said bikini, physique, and I forgot. You told me.
I forgot too. I know. I knew what it was. Figure. Okay, so figure is the next level be above bikini.
Okay.
I didn't want to have to gain as much muscle to get to figure. And the posing is different, and it wasn't something I aspired for.
Meaning you didn't want to do steroids to get to figure, right?
Not everybody. I have a friend who's training for figure, and she's not doing steroids.
But let's not forget to mention the
yes.
reality of
there are some people that do steroids. I do not know. I'm so oblivious that people will be like, that person's obviously on steroids. I'm like, really? Like, I'm so oblivious to it. So yeah. So I didn't want it to gain all that muscle because it just doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't sit well. And so WBFF has kind of a category that's between, which is what my body type would naturally fall into.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So
you feel good about that?
It's sports model. Like instead of bikini or figure.
Sports model.
I'm like, oh, so they want abs, they want legs. They
want abs. The other one doesn't want abs?
They do, but it's different type of abs. Like they want flat, just like because you're so lean they show type of thing.
Interesting.
Most of them. It just depends on who the judges are that day too.
Anorexic abs.
And not to like, there's no discredit to NBC, and those girls work their butts off. They work so hard. And
it's just a different type.
It's just a different type.
And it's kind of unfortunate that it's not everybody can play that game.
Totally.
You know?
And that's the thing I love about WBFF so far. I mean, I'm just now exploring that option, is that they celebrate, there's no mold. They want you to make your body look its best. And that, to me, when I was reading about it, I was like, it just felt like a big F yeah. I was like, this is my spot. Like, that's what I want to do. Because I just want the best version of me. I don't want to, like, change to be whatever you think I'm supposed to be.
I like that a lot.
You know?
Okay, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
So, give these guys at home who, you know, may just be getting started losing weight, they may be thinking about being competitive, give them 3 things that you've learned from this that would help them.
3 things from this. Well, I would say, first of all, just be super self-loving and patient. Patience is the biggest key because it's not going to happen overnight. There are so many magazine covers that are telling you that you're going to get 30-day abs or 10-second buns of steel or whatever they're saying for the day. And it's, so we expect those results and we give up when they're not there immediately. So that would be the first thing. Second thing, there is no quick fix, and this kind of goes in line with the first thing, but eating whole, healthy, real food. So there's no bar that's going to magically make you lose 10 pounds. There's no shake. It's about eating real, whole foods that's just real. Like if it has a million ingredients on it, it's probably not the best thing. And if you don't understand what the ingredients are, it's probably not going to be the best thing for your body. And then be consistent with your fitness, because people want, again, to gain muscle overnight, and it's like you have to work really hard and challenge yourself, especially with women. We tend to believe, we're going to get like man arms or look too big if we lift weights. You can stop at any time. So if you think you're getting too big, just stop lifting as heavy or stop lifting as often. And then B, it takes a lot. When you see those girls on stage that are huge, they worked really hard to get there. It's not like they just woke up one day and they were like, oh my gosh, I have these huge arms. So those are, I guess, my favorite.
Like, oh my gosh, I went to the gym 3 times.
Yeah, 3
and
times.
Look at this!
Me. Because that's a built body or built physique is not for everyone. Not everyone wants muscle, you know. It's totally personal preference, but it's also very healthy to lift weights. So even if you don't want as much muscle, you need to lift weights because you're going to atrophy as you get older.
Because you're going to turn into a little old lady if you don't.
Yeah, and it's real. I mean.
Good show.
Good.
Thanks for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
Catch us next time, the Dr. Burchett Show.
Yeah.
BC Fit will be back, and maybe she'll wear the Dare t-shirt again.
I know. Dare to keep your kids off drugs.